Imagine a modest salesman in a cluttered Brooklyn office named Joe staring at a mountain of missed sales targets. Despite a steady paycheck, the frustration gnaws at him. Then one day he flips the switch. He decides to think bigger. That's when his mediocre results start flipping into the extraordinary. What exactly changed in Joe's mindset? And how does that magic trick work on you too? Stay with me because this isn't just some feel-good pep talk. It's a shift as real as gravity, and it starts in your head. Size matters, not your wallet or title, but the size of your thinking. David Schwartz shows us how tiny thinking traps ordinary people. Let's peek behind the curtain to see how thinking big opens doors you didn't even know existed. Back in Brooklyn, Joe's sales numbers lingered flat for months. Then, inspired by Schwartz's advice, Joe consciously started picturing himself as a top salesperson, not just in his office, but top in New York City. He visualized sealing deals with Fortune 500 firms. Within weeks, that mental stretch turned a corner. New clients called back, his manager noticed, and almost overnight, Joe went from average to sought after. What exactly flipped in that mindset? That's the secret sauce we unravel next. Schwartz compares your mind to a garden. If you plant tiny seeds of doubt, you get weeds of hesitation. But when you plant giant seeds of belief, much like a towering oak, your brain naturally grows the actions and habits to match. It's the classic, what you water grows principle, but dialed to 11. Thinking small confines your potential to a cozy, cramped basement. Thinking big lets you inhabit a sprawling penthouse of possibility. The payoff? When Joe adopted big thinking daily, everything shifted, from how he spoke to clients to how he pursued goals. His confidence became magnetic, attracting opportunities like bees to honey. He discovered that thinking big isn't fantasy, it's strategy. Your world reshapes when you expect value, success, and growth. That leap creates momentum no amount of skills alone can conjure. Fear's a sneaky saboteur, whispering, "Stay safe," while killing dreams. Schwartz doesn't just tell you to be brave. He gives a blueprint to shove fear out of your way by acting anyway. Harold, a janitor from Ohio, was terrified of public speaking. His job required no showmanship, but he craved promotion. He forced himself to lead a tiny weekly meeting, stammering, red-faced, heart-pounding. When he survived, he tried bigger groups than presentations that dazzled. Each victory chipped away at his fear's grip. By the time Harold earned that promotion, his boldness was legendary. That first shaky meeting, what if he'd let fear win? Surprise, action was the weapon all along. Schwartz likens fear to a shadow. It only grows when you freeze. But the moment you step forward, it flickers and shrinks. Just like walking into a dark room with a flashlight, moving towards fear illuminates it and dissolves its power. The brain craves movement. Once you act, paralysis fades. Fear doesn't vanish because it's gone, but because it loses its voice when you refuse to listen. The magic, bold action doesn't just defeat current fear. It builds a habit so powerful it rewires your brain to seek challenge. Like a snowball rolling downhill, small courageous acts gather momentum, turning a timid maybe into a roaring hell yes. Soon, you look back amazed. You're a different person entirely. Confidence isn't a lucky gift or a birthright. It's hammered out by hands-on doing. Schwartz flips the script. To think big, you gotta build boldness muscle first. Mary dreaded cold calls, dead silence, rejections piling up. But she picked one afternoon to challenge herself. 20 calls, no excuses. To her surprise, mid-call 12, a warm lead sparked. That one moment lit a fire she'd never felt before. Every call after was a chance to prove not just to others, but to herself that she could handle discomfort, and then crush it. Her daily practice changed her approach and bank account. Think of confidence like a gym muscle. If you never flex, it atrophies. But doing, even failing, stroking the lever is like reps at a barbell. Schwartz says the brain counts actions as votes for your self-image. Each effort builds your mental strength vault, making the next challenge feel easier and bigger. Here's the kicker. Once you've built that confidence bank, you start taking on opportunities you once dodged. Like Mary, you evolve from hesitant to hungry, because you know no matter what, you've proven you can meet the action head-on. Confidence transforms from a hope into a reliable fuel source for your ambition engine. Negative thoughts are like quicksand. They trap you before you even know what hit. Schwartz flips this despair. Positive thinking isn't fluff. It's the engine that drives creative problem-solving. Alice, a middle manager at a failing textile company, found her division facing massive layoffs. Instead of surrendering to gloom, she rallied her team to rethink processes instead of cutting corners. One bold idea sparked, a new fabric blend that doubled durability. That pivot not only saved jobs but positioned the company as an industry innovator. Alice found hope wasn't naive, it was a strategic weapon. But how did positive thinking flip disaster into triumph? The clue, S in the brain. Schwartz explains positive thinking kindles productive brain pathways, like switching your mental Wi-Fi to a network that supports problem-solving instead of panic. When you focus on solutions rather than obstacles, your mind searches farther, organizes better, and spots connections you'd otherwise miss. Optimism acts like a mental searchlight, illuminating pathways to answers hidden in the dark. The reward: positive thinkers don't just survive crises, they turn them into breakthroughs. Alice and her team discovered a truth. When you expect solutions, your mind creates them. That mindset doesn't just solve problems, it rewrites your story of what's possible next time you face a mountain. Thinking big isn't enough. You've got to act big, too. Schwartz unpacks the surprising ways big behavior shapes how others see and respond to you, pulling bigger results into reach. George was stuck mid-level in a Chicago firm, overlooked despite solid work. One day, he started dressing sharper, speaking with authority, and volunteering for high-visibility projects. His coworkers noticed. Managers took him seriously. Soon, George was tapped for leadership. Schwartz points out that George didn't wait for permission. He acted big enough to compel recognition. How exactly did these outward moves transform his trajectory? That's where the subtle power of acting big lies. Schwartz likens big actions and confident body language to the billboards of your personality. Just like a brightly lit sign draws customers, your posture, tone, and initiative broadcast your inner belief in yourself. Standing tall, speaking clearly, and taking charge isn't ego, it's essential marketing. When you act big, people subconsciously trust you more, giving you the green light for bigger roles and rewards. The real kicker: acting big creates a virtuous cycle. Your big behavior earns big respect, which boosts your confidence, which in turn fuels even bigger actions. George's promotion sparked not just from talent, but from a cascade of big moves that reshaped his professional story. Acting big isn't pretending. It's a signal that invites success to show up and stick around. Remember Joe, stuck and frustrated in Brooklyn? When he thought big, acted boldly, and pushed past fear, he transformed his life, and so can you. This isn't some distant magic trick, it's a habit you build daily. So right now, pick one small action you've avoided because of fear or doubt. Take it boldly. That leap rewires your brain and builds your momentum. The magic you've been waiting for, it's just one big thought and one brave step away. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.